So this is a run back of a build-around submission that we played last week that felt very reasonable when we tried it, so we're trying it again. So this is kind of a more fair version of Indomitable Creativity. So creativity here says you destroy artifacts and creatures, and then for each thing destroyed this way, you flip cards off the top of that controller's deck until you find that many artifacts and or creatures. So we have an instant kill combo if you creativity for X is 3 on our own things, and you put 3 copies of Terror of the Peak into play, which gets you 30 damage of direct damage triggers if you put 3 of them into play. That being said, the appeal of this isn't just the strict combo kill so much in that drawing Terror of the Peaks is mostly fine in terms of things being fair. And if you have to creativity for just X is 2 and get 2 dragons, you can deal 10 damage or 5 damage to 2 different things and kind of win the game more fairly. And you can also occasionally just like creativity for X is 1 and just like floop a terror into play, and in the right situations that's good enough, especially if it's paired with like other planeswalkers and stuff. So past that, we also have interactive cards like Sweltering Suns and Prismari Command to keep us alive, and we've got kind of this fallback planeswalker plan where we can make tokens and generate card advantage with these Dorkos. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this and see how it goes. Yeah, last time we played it, we had more fair wins than unfair wins. We cast creativity for like 1 to 2 more often than we did 3. Sweltering Suns in case they're an aggressive deck. We've got a couple of half of our combo here. And hey look, there's technically a second half of our combo. Nice. Okay, so 4 color, no green so far here. Hey, thanks for 37 months, Eastabus. And for the tier 2, yeah, Dark's in a sweet spot. Feels like a Cycle Sweltering Suns matchup. Yeah, likely packed combo is probably a good read. So how do we want to position ourselves here? Probably lean on Saheeli. Yeah, utility lands and fair decks are really important, Jabrizi. They could likely be Grix for the Tribe. I agree that there's a good chance they're just Tainted Pact. Yeah, they're just Tainted Pact. So, strong probability we die next turn then? Deteeks and Padfoot, thank you for the Prime support. There's a ton of great people you can drop that off with every single month. Thanks for sending it this way. Godlike Uno, thanks for the 9 months. Welcome back. Well, we didn't get combo killed yet, so glass half full.
I summon you.
Alright, 10th lethal, I guess.
Impossible.
I don't know if that game was very interesting, but we won. Sometimes they don't have it, I guess. We take those, I suppose. They didn't have double blue? Oh, you're right. This was their second blue source, huh? It's a good observation. It's definitely a Sweltering Suns out matchup. Mystic Dispute. And honestly, I probably need to take a peek back at this sideboard and rethink this matchup. Only having a couple of disputes here is probably not good enough. Well, I guess we technically have Prismari Command. This is technically interaction here. I mean, I don't think it's really fair to criticize my opponent's play after that last game. I don't really know if there was anything they could do there. Like, we didn't see their hand. I think the person that pointed out they didn't have the colors of mana to combo is probably accurate. Also, just like, they only have 2 copies of each of their combo pieces, so you don't always draw them. Grab my island to start here. Get my auto pass value. Probably don't want Terror naturally here. And then I have plenty of Planeswalkers, so Depose deploys if necessary. Man, that one of Censor 2 games in a row. I think playing Ashiok on the side is worth it for the Tainted Pact deck. There's a lot of draws against Tainted Pact that Ashiok just doesn't do anything. I think if you want Ashiok for other matchups, it's probably fine, but like playing it specifically for the Tainted Pact deck, I think is narrow and worse than playing counterspells on average. Why would you assume they have Negate in a position like that? Fake USB. Can you tell me what play my opponent made that indicated they have a second different counterspell there?
With an open mind.
Yeah, because, like, their deck's all singleton, chat, so, like, the odds that they have any particular individual answer is, like, really low.
I fight with a dragon's rage. Come to me.
With thoughtfulness before action.
Moldavo, thanks for the follow. Why are the historic and standard ladders the same? Because they don't want to have 8 different ladder systems. They want their prizes to mostly work towards the same thing. I see, like, Shock the Sarkhan plus loot here, yeah. Like, what's it called? Like, limited and constructed technically have different ladders, but, like, they feed into the same thing. So, like, at the end of the day, like, there really isn't that big of a difference between them. Okay, so I think the plan here is Karn downtick. How far am I into Bioshock? About halfway, isn't tough. It's like 12 to 15 hours, depending on how quickly you play through, and I'm about 6 hours in. We should finish it this week, most likely. Hey, thanks for the 40 months, Weens. Or are people going Grixis on average? People are splashing an extra color on average because your mana base has to be singleton. If your mana base has to be singleton, you might as well, like, add another color in, because you have to, like, play a lot of other off-color lanes anyways.
There is great power in the peace you make.
You are a mighty warrior.
Yeah, singleton also includes basics. You can have, like, 1 snow and 1 non-snow, but... Ever played the Mass Effect series? I have not. Irregular MTG, thanks for the follow. Good morning. Seeking Stormcaller is like a serviceable magic card. It's not really a card that you want in the sideboard, though. Like, that type of effect doesn't really solve specific problems you're going to have in different matchups. The pack deck crushes Boros midrange. Yeah, I'd believe that. A lot of the interaction Boros midrange isn't really super meaningful. Honestly... you probably want to play, if I was looking to adjust, and I should probably update, I'm going to make a note to update the Boros midrange deck on my site to do this. You should probably be playing some Gideon of the Trials in Boros midrange. So you can just, like, play it and emblem it.
Until you have lived as a statue, allow me
I mean, I don't know if you need to play 4 copies of it. Like, Thalia plays there as well. But, like, little adjustments like that. are things you do. The thing that's important to understand about mid-range decks is, like, you need to understand what decks are popular. In fact, with the results of this tournament, maybe that's something we could do on stream on occasion too, as part of the Meta Monday updates. Is we could go over the decks on my website and talk through things I might change and adjust in small ways based on the feedback from the tournaments the previous weekend. Could be a good deck building lesson to build into the segment. The next Hoaglandia Open is going to be May 30th. It's a Sunday. It'll be three days after 3 days after HA5 releases. Man, if they hadn't killed that, we'd have had lethal this turn, right?
Go get him, buddy.
So I get to hit them for 3, and then I get to Creativity Dome them for 10. I think Death Shadow wasn't more popular in the tournament despite scoring second place, because Historic is a format where there are dozens of different decks you can play. And there are often going to be deck lists in tournaments that do well that don't have a lot of people playing them. There is a reason why the Death Shadow deck has been at the tippy top of my recommended decks. That's one of the decks in the high potential section on my website. It's a deck that I've played and has felt competitive, but people just haven't been registering it or working on it. Is this the Cast Tainted Pact? And then, okay, Concede? Sure. Deal Reno. We have been churning the tournaments. Oh, they auto-tampered. They were trying to YOLO, hoping that their Oracle was in the bottom of their deck there. So even if they had paid more attention to the auto-tapper, they wouldn't necessarily have won there. Oh, I thought you were missing the second blue in game 1 too, Ganon. I mean, that's not really the auto tapper screwing anyone. People should pay more attention to that. Like, when I view the auto tapper as screwing someone, it's when, like, they have a card in their hand and the auto tapper, like, ignored what was in their hand. It always makes me chuckle a little bit when someone who's like a sub and stuff is like, wow, I can't believe I haven't seen that deck before. It's like, you should really take a few minutes to, like, peel through my website. I spent a lot of time putting decks up there. There's a lot of great stuff. Mystic Dispute's one of the big offenders. There's a few others though too. There are instances where it's like, well, this is literally the only spell I could cast, and you just decided not to cast it. In other exciting news about the opens, Cool Stuff Inc. has been happy with the production and viewer counts and stuff with them, so they're going to be increasing the prize support that we have for them for the next one. We're still working out the exact details, so when the tournament gets posted, we'll have all of that up there, but we'll have more prizes for the same entry fee coming up for the next one. Oh, you know what? Maybe I should have shocked this into play deploy here. Yeah, I gotta see exactly what they're interested in doing, but ideally we'll be able to give everybody that goes 3-2 prizes. That'd be sweet if everybody that wins more than they lost walks away with something. Baltic, thank you for the 52 months and for the very generous tier 2. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Can I ever beat a Frill Mystic deck with my deck full of 4 and 5 mana cards? I feel like the answer to that question is probably no. Yeah, I really just don't feel like playing against a bunch of counter spells with my Sweet Planeswalker deck, so I'm just gonna go ahead and concede. Their deck gets run over by anything reasonably aggressive, so let's let them get back into the queue and play against Gruul or something, rather than giving them the satisfaction of countering my sweet spells. Yeah, if you're someone that lives overseas, you can sell the Cool Stuff Inc. credit. We just give you a code. That's what I used to do when I played in the Star City Games tournaments for back in the day. Used to sell the credit that I would get for like 75 cents on the dollar or something like that. Listen, Magic players love not respecting the aggressive decks in formats. Magic players would much rather complain about losing to Gruul rather than adjusting their deck to be reasonable against it. I mean, to be fair, Rhino, the esports scene in Magic almost assuredly loses Wizards of the Coast lots of money. Esports style stuff is assuredly a loss leader. Hey, thanks for the tip.
I battle for the forces of good. The choices we make reveal who we are.
Thanks for the content. Asking myself how I win/lose from here is such simple, good advice. Yep. Have a plan. Have a plan is a good solid piece of suggestion. Do I get more channel points for higher tier subs? Yeah. So tier 2 subs are worth what swords I'm searching for? Tier 2 subs are worth two sub points, and then tier 5 subs are worth 6 points. Oh, that's your talk. Those are channel point ratios. Oh wait, maybe you are talking about channel points. Oh, you did say channel. I thought you were talking about sub points. Yes, channel points. Higher tier subs do get higher ratios of channel points. What Cody said is correct. Man, the feeling of playing against this pack deck is just so toxic. Just like turn 4 hits, and I just like am shrugging and just like hoping not to die every time. What are sub points? Sub points are a thing on the streamer end that dictate like how many dictate things like how many. Wait, did they exiled both their Thassa's oracles? Alright, deal. Sub points dictate things like how many what's it called you have, how many emote slots, for example. Who's does make millions? Show us your books. The only money I make off of Hoots is subscriber money. All of the entry fees go directly to MTG Melee, and then Melee sends money to Cool Stuff Inc. I mean, I'm sure sub points are a metric that Twitch uses to determine if they care about streamers. Like, For example, when you're becoming a larger streamer, the number of sub points you have can dictate how much negotiating power you have with Twitch in terms of your Twitch contract.
A curious choice.
So, with 2 Karns in hand now, I think the plan is like down tick Karn, play Karn, down tick, and just like try and apply a bunch of pressure here. It's the 18 months leaves. Welcome back. At what point can I begin negotiating with Twitch based on my shillings? I'm not sure those work that way. You didn't realize you could negotiate that contract. Chat! I'm gonna let you in on one of life's little secrets. All contracts are negotiable. Shaman Exile, thanks for the 32 months. Welcome back. Yeah, the number of subs someone has dictates like how many emotes their channel has, for example, Bluefire. Hey, thanks for the bit, silly cheese. Yeah, exactly that. All contracts are negotiable, you just don't always have the appropriate leverage to do it successfully.
Evil cannot withstand a righteous arm.
That, the Wishclaw Talisman makes my things bigger too, chat.
Solutions must
Exciting. Ooh, Thopters. Morning, James. Oh, I forgot to fart out a thing, huh?
Nothing is ever truly lost.
Today I craft my victory.
I don't know if my opponent's deck has enough win conditions to win the game after they bin Thassa's Oracles like that. Seven mana draw card, yep. Well. So I boarded last time. I think we're going to board this way again. Leave the Sarkhan cut at Depose. It's fine. Augur of Bolas. That was a card. That was a card I could never register when it was in standard. Just like bricking with it felt too awful. So, kind of blue fire. You can estimate what their peak amount of subscribers was. So, like, for example, on my channel, I have a number of emotes that equates to having 4,600 concurrent subscribers, but that was a one-time peak for me when we were doing a push to dye my hair pink during a promo thing. So you can estimate someone's subscriber peak based on their emote count, but you can't really know their current subscriber amount. Like, for example, my current number of subscribers is 2,520, which is significantly lower than the 4,600 peak that my emote slots would imply. Yeah, that. Speaking of emotes in pink. Imagine losing emote slots when you lose subs. So, for a long time, you wouldn't lose the emotes when you lost subs, but you couldn't update your emotes because if you deleted one and no longer had that sub threshold, you didn't still have the slot. So, it used to be that just like, you would just never update your emotes because you frequently were under whatever your peak was at a given point. And they thankfully changed that policy because it was really stupid and bad. Yeah, Prismari Command is interaction against their combo here, so we're gonna keep that. $2,500 subs, like the top 0.0001% of Twitch. Yeah, well, I mean, like, I feel like those ratios, like, in terms of percentages, don't really make sense to compare a lot of the time because, like, Twitch is the style of platform where, like, the majority of the people that stream on it, like, don't even have a viewer, much less a subscriber, right? Like if you have, like, 10 subs on Twitch, you're probably in the top % of streamers. Ander, thanks for the 5 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Do I brainstorm here? I think the answer is no. I might also just want to kill this. I'm going to brainstorm, I think. Am I? Yeah, I'm going to go kitchen. This thing's actually kind of annoying. Pressures my planeswalkers. Just do this and again, like, this is the kind of toxic, boring play pattern in the pack deck, in that, like, I need to actually put something into play here so I can, like, actually start advancing my game plan, but there's, like, a significant chance that I just lose the game next turn, right? And it doesn't mean it's wrong for me to tap out, but it does, like, feel awful that it's game theory optimal for me to, like, cross my fingers and hope I don't lose next turn. 49er, just for context, there is a chart that pulled data using the Twitch API, but like the fact that you hit double-digit viewers at 10 viewers puts you in like the top 10% of streamers on Twitch or something like that. Like, if you go to the average Valorant, if you go to like a page like Valorant or whatever, you'll see. Oh, they got all the way to the bottom of their deck, sure. You'll see that there's a lot of people that stream to like 0 and 1 viewer, because a lot of people have their own stream up. I mean, Artifact's not a good example. Going to a game that like has a bunch of people and like see like hundreds of people streaming it, most of whom have no one watching. How did we lose? Well, their deck was empty and the Thassa's Oracle trigger won the game. Because of how hard discovery is on this platform. You know, people always say that. It's always funny to me how Twitch viewers blame the platform. It's not Twitch's fault that Joe and Jane and Jack and whoever random streaming doesn't have a viewer because discovery is bad. Viewers should think about how they watch Twitch. The reason why discovery is difficult to impossible on Twitch and basically every site is because nobody wants to scroll down and trudge through a bunch of people who have no viewers at the bottom of a category. Think about how you watch Twitch. When people watch Twitch, generally speaking, and yeah, you might be an exception to this, so if you are, I don't care, you don't need to tell me. But most people that watch Twitch open Twitch and they start by looking at the people that they follow already, and then if no one that they follow is live, they consider, do I still want to watch the game that I opened Twitch to watch? And then if they do decide that they want to watch the game slot they open Twitch to watch, they'll open the game category and they'll scroll from the top sorted by highest viewer count first. So like the issue isn't that Twitch doesn't help people get discovered. The issue is that the way people use Twitch, they don't want to discover new people. That's not how they use the platform. Yeah, exactly. Like that's just how the social media platforms like that work. And like there's nothing wrong with like prioritizing watching content creators that you enjoy. Like this is entertainment. You shouldn't like make your entertainment feel like work. I just always think it's strange because like that's a very common sentiment I hear from other people where they're like, "Oh, Twitch doesn't help me get discovered." And it's like, well, people don't want to discover you. They don't want to go out and look for new people. Yeah, like, agree, it's a superhuman interaction.
I have practiced against many foes like you.
It's hard to get discovered. I have put in hard work to get discovered, yeah. There's this really common misconception among people, I think, that like, if you just show up and stream every day on Twitch, you'll get discovered, and you just gotta show up every day and put in the work. And that's just not how it works, right? Like, the things that make you successful on Twitch are largely outside of your control. Yeah, you have to show up every day, but to get your foot in the door initially, you have to be lucky or have a presence from somewhere else.
This was overwhelming.
Yeah, and honestly, like that is a big part of why, like, I don't know, people who watch me through the end of my streams, you'll note that I always try and host someone at the end. And occasionally I host someone like Sean, because Sean is great, day 9. But generally speaking, when I host someone at the end of the stream, I try to look for smaller people. Okay, so this is putting them to 6, and this is 5, and this is dead. Yeah, honestly, acting and artist, Twitch streaming in a way is kind of like a modern day version of you know, I want to play pro sports ball, right? Like, lots of people who play high school baseball, basketball, football have a dream to do that, and tons of them work hard at it and are talented, but at the end of the day, there's only so many slots. And it's an incredibly competitive industry, and like, who you know and what lucky breaks you catch are a big part of whether or not you end up being successful. He has day 9 to commentate in open. My budget for Hoots would not allow me to pay someone like Sean what his fair rate would be. And I believe in always trying to pay people what they're worth, so. Flight forward, thanks for the tip. Add a deck to the queue, I assume? I'd love to see your preferred iteration of black-white auras for the current metagame. Yeah, I would love to do that. That sounds great. Yeah, I mean, everyone whose stream gets off the ground gets lucky. Lambton in chat mentioned a second ago that the only reason he found my stream was because Paul Scion got hired by Wizards of the Coast. And I think that's definitely true. In fact, I remember talking with my wife about the time that Paul stopped streaming, and I made a point that I made the point to her that, like, hey, this person that streams similar content to what I stream is no longer streaming, and I think I need to put more hours in to try and capitalize on that. And I did, and I was able to capitalize on that. There were people looking. Paul did mostly constructed content like I was doing on Magic Online at the time. A lot of right place, right time. A question I get asked from smaller Twitch streamers a lot of the time is, Jeff, how did you know it was right to start streaming full time for you? And the answer to that question is very easy for me personally. I started streaming full time when Twitch started paying me a full-time income. Whenever I hear someone tell me that, like, they quit their job to stream on Twitch full-time and they've got like 10 average viewers, it always makes me feel for them a little bit, because like that is not smart, good decision making. Don't do that, chat. I think we might be getting Gandalf this game.
Prowess.
Yikes. Yeah, I think we're probably dead here. Alright, so Dispute's good, Chandra's good. A lot of anti-creature stuff in my board might be too much. I might want a couple extra counter spells in here for not only the Tainted Pact, but also the Jeskai control matchup. Let's make that change after this game. I'm going to board out the Sweltering Suns, obviously, against control, and then creativity. Maybe I want a couple copies of Rest in Peace. Jeskai control isn't in the proven section, because I don't have a preferred Jeskai control list. Also, like, this past weekend, with Jeskai control being super popular in 2 small tournaments, it's important to recognize this is true of the Tainted Pact deck too. The sample sizes from this weekend are like small, like really, really small. So like based on the results of this past weekend alone, I don't think Jeskai belongs in the proven section. Jeskai has had like middling results at best in a lot of things. It's a format staple, and at some point I might like push it that way too, but yeah. I found this stream based on Sean's recommendation. Yeah, that's a, you know, recommendations from other popular people are strong for sure. Yeah, and that Shaman Exile, that one there is definitely how I got started in general. It's funny, Matt and I often refer to my time playing on the SCG tour as my unpaid internship, because the years I spent playing there, God, this seems just bad, right? The years I spent playing there was basically me breaking even, but it gave me some small amount of notoriety to get a small viewer base to start. Yeah, a lot of random collaboration. Also, talking about right place, right time stuff. I was a mid-sized Magic streamer when Arena went into release and open beta, when there were a lot of people being influxed into the game. It didn't hurt either. All right, I'm gonna trim a Rest in Peace. Maybe I don't need this anger on top of these Abrades and Helixes and Sweltering Suns. I think I want like 2 more counter spells post board. Couple of negates in here. I found this stream by someone complaining about your chat policy. You know, no joke. When they say no, all publicity is good publicity, they're not lying. The number of viewers that then turned into subscribers and long-term supporters that are like here because of a morbid curiosity where they hear someone complain on social media about how things are managed here. And then there are many reasonable people in the world who come in and see how things are actually managed compared to what people complain about. And they're like, oh, I actually like this. Because many people, adults especially, don't want to deal with the random bullshit that goes on in a lot of places on the internet. That's exactly how I ended up here. I think we bottom the Sarkhan. We could go Azcanta on 2, and then we have this down the line. There are Luris deck, which could be a few different things. Luris can even be Tainted Pact at this point. Great. Aggro. Getting the hand empty here. Prismari Command. You know, honestly, I think I'm just 1-for-1ing this rather than letting them get some cards out of this this Beaumont. We have mana to cast Karn next turn. Like, Hey, Nor. Thanks for the 16 months. Welcome back. Keeping me around. Ooh, that's actually a good one. These block the G2 and gain us 2. Yeah, I wonder how my metrics compare to other Magic streamers in terms of viewer age. I would agree with you that my gut says I probably skew older than a lot of Magic audiences. They wait just for Lurius. No, they have things like Helix too. Get to the Thopter! To the Thopter! And if they want to spend a burn spell, killing one of these Thopters to save their G2, that's a win for us. Yikes. Ooh. I think we're just digging for more Thopters at this point, or our combo piece.
I will fight for my friends. Oh, say hello to my
So,
to the skies.
if I attack with these two, I still don't have lethal next turn, right? I think I just attack with Sarkhan here. But even it's considered old in this chat. So Twitch doesn't give you estimated ages, but YouTube does. And my YouTube estimates that my average viewer is about 25 to 34, sorry. Got him with the flavor text, chat.
Watch this.
Thopter thing. Where's my Thopter thing, chat? Alright, so we need one more brick out of them here. Does Discord metrics give you age statistics about people in the server? 25 to 34 is old for Twitch.
There is great power in the field.
This would have been lethal if I'd attacked with the dragon last turn.
They are coming.
Need this to be a blank, chat. Magic. Nothing quite says mono red like long pause cast lethal burn spell. I should have attacked with the dragon the previous turn. I would have given this as an out like we had there. We almost won that game because of the 2 life off a deploy. Also, like not only do we almost win this game because of 2 life off a deploy, but like look at how many lands I have in play, right? Like, the burn deck drew exactly 3 lands in 20 cards. Like, the fact that we were in that game for as long as we were with the opponent drawing as much gas as they did was, like, really impressive. Yeah, the red aggro deck is really good when you draw 3 lands all gas. Can I kill this proactively to turn off things like Wizard's Lightning? My hand's actually pretty good here, so I'm just gonna make a treasure token. I don't think Wrath of God really solves any of the problems that deck has, does it? We were talking, maybe, I'm not sure if you were on, we were talking about that deck a little bit ago, Charizard. I think 3 mana getting into the Trials is pretty good. It would be a card I'd be interested in playing in that archetype. So if this card and this card deal 5, we could die here. Man, that's unfortunate. I wanted to gain extra life with this.
Some solutions must be built.
Are we dead now? Man, we got so unlucky in these games. Wrath does not beat auras. Now, I'm not going to deploy on upkeep. I want to hit them for 2 extra points of damage. Yeah, we could draw creativity next turn if they brick. And sometimes they only draw 7 lands in 2 games. I mean, the red deck's like not very good in this format. It was the Boros aggro deck was one that a ton of people tried the first couple of weeks. They fell very flat on its face in the first couple of events and then fell off. It's obviously like if they could do like those games went every game where like they like never draw all gas and like 3 to 4 lands, the deck's very good. But unfortunately, Magic catches up with you and you draw your 5th and 6th land in a number of games and you, generally speaking, can't win. Yeah, that second game there, because they had the thing to lock out our life gain, they had infinite hits. But the first game, they had a very small number of hits and got there. And then that game, they had to have, what, like their 2 or 3 of sideboard card to lock us out of gaining life that would have put the game away? Like, if we'd have been able to gain 4 there, we'd have been fine. Got you, Crockett. Disconnected here, unfortunately, looks like. I think they timed out. The inactivity timer at the very start of the game is way too long. Like, does this one make them blow up, or is it the next one? It is the next one, right? Yeah, there should not be... It should not be three inactivity timers at the very start. Oh, this is it? Okay, it's just 2. 2. 2's probably fine. Wrath turned Angels and Elves from unwinnable to favored. I would be surprised if that's the case statistically. You're even assuming you put 4 Wraths in your board, which I assume you didn't put 4 in, but even assuming you put 4 Wraths in, your odds of drawing a Wrath of God in both of your post-board games aren't that great. I would believe that you're favorite on average in the games where you draw Wrath, but you have to consider you're going to often just lose the first game, and then you have to count on drawing your sideboard card in both of the post-board games, which is unlikely. Devil Manlet, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Does Angel still play Linvala or no? Depends on the list. But yeah, some of them play Linvala too. Some people play just green-white. Angels isn't really a super established archetype anymore. It fell off a good bit. I'm gonna do in-person Magic. I mean, I didn't even do that much in-person Magic before the plague happened, so... Well, we're gonna be locked up here, chat. Yeah, my wife and I just started coordinating playing board games with people in person again. It's something I've been looking forward to. Yeah, but like, the indestructible just white card Harlequin is much worse than having another angel in your deck that you can get. And like, having Glasspool Mimic is really good in angels. I think if you're playing angels, you should be playing Bant. Yeah, I agree. Angels is fun. It's just not like a super popular deck. It's actually more popular in best of 1 than best of 3. But my recommended angel deck is definitely Bant. It's one that's up on my site. Yeah, I agree that the Mardu build that Pomoyne played at Hoots was good. I'm gonna try and jump block with one of these deploy tokens. I don't know. This deck felt pretty meh today. Our deck feels kind of slow and fair. And the games that we've won, like against Tainted Pack, I feel like we got pretty fortunate to do so. Our opponents bricked off for pretty exceptionally long periods or got pretty unlucky. Yeah, back from Disney World. I can't imagine doing something like a theme park right now. If you and your group were vaccinated and whatnot, you were safe and considerate. Like, I guess consider. I don't. In my mind, I can't imagine a place like that being. Yeah, just like places, theme parks. It's like a theme park falls in the same category as like a gym to me. Like, those are the types of places that during normal times, under average circumstances, I would consider gross. The bot, Toby, thanks for the follow. Getting the trials. The idea is that you just make an emblem, and then Tainted Pack has to take Gideon off the table before they can kill you. Like Walmart. I don't know that Walmart qualifies in the same way, but yeah.
I have faced worse than the likes of you. Allow me to introduce you to a friend of mine.
Oops, thanks for the 24 months. Welcome back. And Runtime, thanks for the 16 months. See, the CDC stated COVID is considered an airborne virus over a year later. Sure, this is going to shock you, but don't be... The people out there who are like, oh my god, can you believe they changed the COVID guidance again? It's like they don't know what we're doing. We can't trust them. Those people are fucking idiots, chat. This is gonna shock you, but science isn't magic. And it isn't just some magic 8-ball that just because you're someone like Fauci or some other epidemiologist that you all of a sudden get to snap your fingers and know everything about everything instantly when something new appears. People learn by studying things, and as more information becomes available, opinions on things should change. It shouldn't be, oh, their opinion changed, we can't trust them. It's actually the exact opposite. The fucking idiots that make a bad take and then sit there and double down and triple down and assert that they're never going to change their mind based on their initial thing that they said, those are the people you shouldn't be listening to. People that are too proud and arrogant to admit that, oh, I learned something new and my opinions changed based on the presentation of new facts. That's like the fundamental problem with like society as a whole. Like there's too much the you're wishy-washy. No, I changed my opinion because I learned something new. That should be the expectation. The expectation should be you learn something new, and when something new that you learn contradicts your worldview, you adjust your worldview. You don't complain about the thing that you learned was new and call it fake news and complain that other people should have known that from the start. Yeah, it's like this really weird purity test. Like, I'm right. Like, what was it? There was some, I forget which point it happened, and I'm sure it's happened at multiple points. But I think it was, Amy Comey Barrett. When they were confirming Amy Comey Barrett, there was a GOP conservative talking point that Amy Comey Barrett didn't need note cards when she gave speeches because she knew what she's saying was right. And just this nonsense idea that like you are more correct if you don't rely on tools. And like as a teacher, it like physically hurt me to hear that. Just like the trash anti-intellectualism that positions like that put out into the world. Noab, thanks for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate the support. Wouldn't be here without folks like you. Alright. You have a 1/1 for 1. Yeah, stuff like that. Like teleprompters are bad. It's like, no, like being smart isn't having all the answers. Being smart is understanding information that's presented to you and being able to appropriately use your resources to figure things out that you need to figure out. Alright. What do I feel about YOLOing Terror of the Peaks? They don't have Mystic Dispute up this turn. I feel like the Steamful Stroke's pretty unlikely. Memory Lapse, sure, that's fine. Shuffler confirmed broken. Thanks for the prime. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Okay, no Lava Axe. Get double pillared. The old spend 2 cards, pay 6 life, kill my thing. Sure. I can empathize with that, 4-9er. That the changes in guidance as we learn more change your procedures, which can be difficult from a workplace setting. I don't think that that's an unreasonable position to have. So I can go put this back, and then I can shock this in to play around Spell Pierce, and then I could do this into Helix this.
If it's a challenge you want, then a challenge you'll get.
I guess I don't necessarily have to Helix this right away, it's only a 1/1. They could go like 4th land, cast Arclight here, and I'd rather Helix that. Watching on YouTube, figured I'd pop over to get my name read in a timeout. Thanks for the 15 months. I be not sane. Welcome back. Yeah, Karn can pseudo clear the Brainstorm next turn. So we won't have to, if Karn resolves, we won't have to draw the land that's under him, which is nice. Yeah, they can technically adapt this for 8 mana, but it's not particularly likely to happen. Game's probably going to be decided before we get to that point. Paid off for holding the Helix. Ooh. All right, let's make some Karn structs and close this game out, huh?
Some lessons for you all.
What's going on, Covern? Thanks for the 31 months and for the tier 3. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Took a fair game there. I probably don't want these search for Azcantas. I do want some Sweltering Suns. It's just Mystic Dispute. They have counter spells. Let's do that. My graduate program that I did was pretty relaxed, 4-9er. I'll play this this island so we can dispute a Sprite Dragon on 2. Let me get the rest of HA5. I don't think they've given us a specific timeline for spoilers. Yeah, for sure, LinkedIn. Do I want a treasure or do I want to loot? I want a treasure, actually. It's pretty okay.
Even some solutions must be built.
Yeah, Karn double down, second Karn, and then deploy as a follow-up. Just try and beat them down here. Hey, congrats, Grande. They gonna Phoenix me here? They're in the tank, so either they don't have a Phoenix or their second discard is really tough. No Phoenix leaves us in a very good spot. Think of 3-mana Gideon in the sideboard, a green-white company against pack combo. I mean, it can't be worse than your other options.
Oh, say hello.
This is very aggressive, but I think it's the play to win line. Just wanted to say the coverage of Hoots last week was top-notch. The state of Historic is making me regret investing so hard in fetches and Snapcasters. Yeah. Historic pretty decent at the moment. So many cards are we drawn? Hey, that's awesome, Jake. So, I feel like after playing this a bit more, my big takeaway is that we had played, I do still have it here, we had played this last season before the most recent, so we haven't played this since Strixhaven released, so obviously this list isn't updated, but I kind of feel like I'd like to explore this as opposed to like that list that we just played, like the Karn, Saheeli, Sarkhan package. Prismari Command might fit into here really nicely. The actual kind of like Indomitable Creativity part of this deck, like, it was fine in some spots and maybe closed out games that we wouldn't close out otherwise, but definitely felt kind of clunky overall. Winning the game on 6 mana and requiring 3 targets for this is just like so much in a format where Tainted Pack is just like getting you on turn 3, sometimes often on turn 4. Like, I think we ended up going positive against Tainted Pack in this set, but I think if you look back on the games that we played and you think through what caused us to win the games that we won, you'll see that we got really fortunate in some edge cases in those matchups. I mean, honestly, I don't know that like any of the creativity payoffs are really big enough outside of like Philokamos. So like even like so there's like the Locust God payoff that happens with 5 mana, and like it was just like, especially like even before Pact was in the format, like thinking about Groll and stuff like that, like having to get to 5 mana to combo, or especially 6 mana like this build, is just really long in this format. Historic is definitely a turn 4 format at the moment. That needs to be your big pivotal turn. And a big pivotal turn. So yeah, I think the tension of wanting to make tokens card, also dig for combo pieces felt awkward. I like the idea. Yeah, like I said, I think I like exploring the idea of either some kind of planeswalker deck around Karn, whether it's, you know, blue-red or Teamer for trying Kasmina, or Jeskai for like Teferi or other things like that. Yeah, drawing there is like okay, but it could be worse. How much do you get Boros today? So my deck queue's actually got a few things backed up in it, James. So it's $100 to cut something into today. For the normal $50 donation, I'd get it played tomorrow, though. You're playing with the slight changes, the Velocimous creativity turns. Yeah, I think that build is probably the best creativity build, in part because it can pop off on turn 4, right? And I struggle to understand what people mean when they say X turns format. Can you give an example of why Historic is a turn 4 format? So basically what I mean when I say Historic is a turn 4 format, I mean your deck, if you are playing a proactive deck, needs to Goldfish killing the opponent on turn 4. So on the 4th turn of the game, your opponent needs to be dead. Or you need to be able to positively interact with a variety of the decks in the format. So like, for example, before Strixhaven happened, before Tainted Pack became popular, this deck used Sweltering Suns to profitably interact with things like Gruul that were trying to kill us by the 4th turn. But the addition of spell-based combo decks like Tainted Pack that don't care about creature interaction to the format means that the range of interaction you need to play in order to not be a kill you by turn 4 deck has widened. So Tainted Pack put pressure on the format to interact in more specific ways by the 4th turn, or be able to race consistently to that 4th turn win. It's basically the litmus test of you need to interact by this point in the game, or you need to be able to end the game by this point in the game. Is what you're looking for there.